everyone. It's good to have you on this video today. I want to introduce to you Pastor Naomal and Priya. They're in Sri Lanka, and they're national directors for Foundations for Living in Sri Lanka. And there's some things happening there right now that we want to let all of you know about for the reasons of prayer and support. So Pastors Naomal and Priya, thank you so much for joining us today. Things are not easy in Sri Lanka right now. And so for those that don't know, would you tell us some of the situation that's happening and what you're facing as followers of Jesus and national directors in your country?
Okay, thank you for having us, Pastor KR and Pastor Mike Ved. Yeah, the situation in Sri Lanka is pretty bad due to the present regime that they have been plundering the coffers of Sri Lanka, and the country is now bankrupt. They have been rated so low by the World Bank and other organizations because there is no money. They physically have taken the dollars out of the country and sent it to places like Uganda, where there is black money. Sri Lankan money has been sent and it's been taken out. And due to that, because there is no money, the people have come to a desperate situation. There is no electricity, there is no fuel, there is no gas for cooking, and people are desperate. So all of them is sort of a mini revolution. They have come onto the streets. It's a peaceful revolution. They have come and they are saying, no, we want a regime change. We want you out. But these people are hanging on. They don't want to leave. The president and the prime minister don't want to leave because when they leave, everything is going to be exposed. So they are hanging on to power and they don't want to leave. So that's the present. People are desperate right throughout the country.
Yeah, because children are, especially in the rural areas, the children are starving. The jobs are not there. There are men crying on streets saying, we don't have money to support our families. And there's a lot of unrest. There's a lot of anger in the hearts of men. And but the incredible thing is they have all come together before all this started. One race was at loggerheads with the other race. We've got probably the Sinhalese that are predominant. We've got Tamils, we've got the Muslims, and we've got the descendants of the Dutch. They are the main races in the country. And we've always had strife between these races. And actually the hierarchical people, those that are in position, created that unrest so that the country would be fighting with one another. They are the ones that created it. And it got embedded into our spirits so that when we saw someone from another race, there was always a doubt or I'm better than you or you're better than me, that kind of thing. But due to all of this, the most amazing thing that has happened is there's nothing called race anymore. We are all on the streets protesting. I myself and Naomal too. Naomal's been out there twice and I've been out there once. But the incredible thing is we are people of Sri Lanka. So that has been killed at the moment. And there is no, you're better than me or I'm better than you. We are just all sons and daughters of this land. And so we are fighting to get this family out because there's probably about 20 in a family that's holding high positions in the government. And so they're supporting one another. So that is what's happening. But the churches are also protesting. They're coming out. We've seen the Catholics come in together with the Anglicans, with the Christian churches. So we are all together in this. So that has been a phenomenal thing we've never ever seen. I've never ever seen a thing like this. So that is good. Wow. And when there is unrest and when there is, a lack of so many things, what do people do? The Christians do. They are praying. They pray.
Amen.
And I've never seen people, Christians, pray as much as they are today. I myself, I'm involved in a prayer group every day of the week. We are praying, and we've upped our prayer life, tremendously. And we are believing that God's just going to work a miracle, and we are seeing it in little bits and pieces, because things are caving in on the president and the prime minister and some of his cahoots,
That's right.
Yeah. So God is doing something. It's probably not happening the way we want, as it, we want everything to happen yesterday, but things are happening. We can see people praying, and things are getting answered. So we would actually value if you could please pray for us, and pray that, there'll be peace, and there will be support, and the money that has been siphoned out of the country, if we can, get it back, that'll be amazing, because it's going into like trillions of thousands of dollars that has been siphoned out. So if we can get that back, or at least half of it, we'd be totally fine.
Okay. It's a desperate situation for sure. KR, you have a question.
Yes, I do. And Naomal and Priya, we just so value our partnership and what we're working together on there in Sri Lanka to disciple the believers and to translate the material into Sinhalese, so that more and more people can be discipled as followers of Jesus. But the people who are watching this video are going to want to support you in prayer. And so we want to just list for them 2 or 3 things that you would like them to take to the Father on your behalf. And I know that our people here who are part of our team at Foundations for Living would love to pray. So just lay out 2 or 3 things that they could pray specifically about.
I think firstly, we want this to be a peaceful demonstration, a peaceful turnaround, that the present regime will gracefully leave instead of creating problems, so that then a new blood, a new regime will come and take over, and there to be a change in the system, because previously everyone has been filling their coffers, their pockets, instead of serving the people. That's one point.
And the second one would be, this is the time for us to seek souls. This is the time for the harvest. This really is, because people are desperate. They're looking for answers. Just a very quick testimony is our president. He goes to a soothsayer. She's a woman, and she sort of gives advice and gives him direction. And this woman came into the grounds where there are hundreds and thousands are, doing the silent protests. So in that group of people, there are the Christians too, and they are silently praying. So this woman came in to
plant a curse.
Plant a curse and chant, whatever she was wanting to chant, right? And she could not win, because the prayers of the saints were stronger. And she had to pack up and go. And her one thing that was what she said was, I feel powerless, because something is blocking my chant. And for us, the Christians, we know it was the prayers of the saints. And it was just a small group, but their prayers, and I don't think they even knew this woman was on the grounds. They didn't know. They were just praying silently. And their prayer stopped her from creating more damage. And so it's been recorded that her work is, it's a total failure. It's not working. So I think she might have to wrap up and just go home, I think. This is what I'm thinking.
And maybe we can pray that she finds Jesus and changes her kind of ministry.
Amen. Amen.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Oh, that is so, yeah. Thank you so much, Naomal and Priya, for sharing that. And we do stand with you in the work there. You're a brother and sister, and you have supporters here who are behind you, and we want to join you in these prayer efforts. And we know that one of the emphasis of Foundations for Living is making disciples across the street and around the world. So in the streets in which you walk, which is around the world from us, we're wanting to see God's power poured out and more people choose to follow him. And even in despite political situation, like you said, Priya, these are times of harvest. That God, even in the midst of political and economic turmoil, Jesus is still transforming hearts and saving people. And we know that's your work and passion, and it's our privilege to join with you. And so folks watching this, if you'd like to know more about Naomal and Priya's work, please reach out to Foundations for Living through our website and email KR or myself. And let's be supporting and praying for them in the days ahead. Thank you so much, Naomal and Priya.
Thank you for having us, and
God bless you.
God bless you both.